What's up guys, Syiler here, and we are back with another level 100 talent preview for Warlords of Draenor, this time looking at Mage. And remember, these talents are all subject to change. They can change and they most likely will. This is just an early overview. So the first talent up is Prolonged Exposure. For Arcane, Arcane Overpower. Passive, casting Arcane Missiles extends Arcane Power by 2 seconds. So obviously Arcane Power is your sort of DPS cooldown as Arcane, and casting Arcane Missiles will extend it by 2 seconds. Now, whether you can sort of quickly cast Arcane Missile, stop just to get the additional 2 seconds and then cast something else, and keep doing that to keep it, even more prolonged, I'm not too sure. But either way, it seems like a decent way to keep Arcane Power alive a bit longer. Kindling, your Fireball, Pyroblast and Inferno Blast critical strikes extend combustion by 1 second. So you want to be critting with abilities anyway as fire, and chances are you're going to get a few crits during a combustion. So that way you're going to have a fairly long combustion. That seems like a really decent talent. Frost, Thermal Void, passive, casting Ice Lance extends your Icy Veins by 2 seconds. So once again, just a way of extending your basically DPS cooldown. So overall that seems more of a single target DPS increase. The Focusing Crystal, 40 yard range, 1 minute cooldown, conjures a Focusing Crystal at a target location, which is attackable by only the Mage. The crystal will absorb the power of all damage dealt to it, and after 10 seconds it will release bursts of energy, dealing damage equal to 130% of the damage it took, split between all enemies within 8 yards over 6 seconds. So this could be seen as both a really strong AoE cooldown and also a strong single target cooldown. I mean, if you know ads are about to spawn in 10 seconds, you can pop this, go to town for 10 seconds, and then when the ads spawn, you're instantly going to be dealing a crazy amount of damage to them. Whether the Focusing Crystal can be killed by the ads, I'm not too sure, and whether you'll get the aggro from the crystal damage or the crystal will get the aggro, that's another thing to look at as well. And also, this could be useful for single target as well. You pop all your major cooldowns, you go to town on the crystal, and then 10 seconds later, well, yeah, 10 seconds later it'll start to do that damage but increased. So not only have you done your burst, you've done your burst plus 30%. Because it's doing 100% of the damage plus 30%. So you're getting the initial 100% damage that you dealt, plus an additional 30% damage on top of that 100%. So if there's no adds up, it should do all the damage to one target. So that should be a single target increase and an AoE increase as well. So it's pretty cool. And it helps class the specs that don't have such a strong AoE. They can just go to town with their normal single target, and then they'll do some AoE based off their single target. And finally, Falling Stars, Arcane Orb, instant 15-second cooldown, launches an Arcane Orb forward from the Mage's position, travelling 40 yards, dealing 1k Arcane damage to enemies it passes through, grants the Mage an Arcane charge every time it deals damage. Fire Meteor, 1000 mana, 40 yard range, 45-second cooldown, and instant. Calls down a meteor which lands at the target location after 3 seconds, dealing 10k fire damage split evenly between all targets within 8 yards. Also burns the grounds, dealing an additional 2k fire damage for over 10 seconds in the enemy area. So it's a really strong AoE cooldown. Frost, Comet Storm, 1k mana, 40 yard range, 30-second cooldown, and instant cast. Call down a series of 7 ice comets on and around the target, each of which does 2k damage split between all enemies within 5 yards on its impact point. So you're going to get the 2k times 7, and it's going to be split between the enemies within 5 yards. So the Meteor obviously is fire, obviously being able to cover a larger range with their AoE damage. The Arcane Orb probably being better for more single target, and the Frost being, a bit of a mix. It's decent single target and a bit of sort of splash AoE damage as well. Overall, Mage talents seem quite fun and interesting. The Focusing Crystal is probably the most interesting out of them all. I'm interested to see how that actually works and functions, and definitely seems, a bit different. Like, I could imagine that increasing the skill cap of mages, having to put down the crystal, making sure you've got all your cooldowns ready to go for it, nuking the crystal, and the crystal does damage back out. That's a really interesting concept. I like that. So look out for more of these talent previews coming soon. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya!